Today we're going to look at these series of questions. We're going to use a mole calculation chart to answer each question. So question 1, how many grams of sodium are in 2 moles of sodium? So we have moles on this chart. Here is your moles, here and here, and then we're going to go from moles to grams. Mass is measured in grams. Okay, so you're going to take your 2 moles of sodium and you are going to make sure you put your units opposite of each other. So you have your mole unit here in the numerator and your conversion mole unit in the denominator, and then you can cancel them out. This will actually be grams, and then this is the molar mass that we're looking at here that we need to convert. Now all we need is how many grams are in 1 mole of sodium. So for every 1 mole of sodium you get 23 grams. So cancel your units, you're left with grams, multiply across the numerator and denominator, and you get your grams for 2 moles of sodium. Okay, next question. How many moles of carbon are in 12 grams of carbon? So this is basically the same question, just in reverse. So you're going to start with 12.42 grams. You're going to make sure your units are opposite so they can cancel. You have grams on the bottom, mole on top, and then you're going to have, for every 1 mole of carbon you get 12 grams. Same thing, cancel your units, you're left with moles. 12.42 divided by 12, and you have mole left over here. So 12.42 divided by 12 is 1.035 moles of carbon. Okay, gotta clear some space. Okay, next question. How many atoms are in 0.55 grams of potassium? So we're going to clear off our mole conversion chart a little bit because we're going in a different direction. So how many atoms? So we're going to go from grams. We're going to go from grams and we're going to go to particles. So we have one extra step. We're going to go from grams to get to moles, and then from moles we're going to go to particles, and we're going to use our molar mass to get to grams to moles, and we're going to use Avogadro's number, which is Avogadro's number is 6.022 times 10 to the 23, and that's going to give you atoms or particles or molecules, and that's what you're going to use to convert into these different types of questions. So how many atoms are in 0.551 grams of potassium? So we have 0.551 grams. Grams need to be in opposite position so they can cancel. And we have mole on top. So potassium, for every 1 mole of potassium you get 39 grams per 1 mole. And now that we're in moles, we're here now. Now we want to go to particles. And to get to particles, for every 1 mole of particles, you get 6.022 times 10 to the 23 molecules. So remember, this is, or molecules or atoms. This is atoms. Okay. Now we can cross the units out and we should be left with atoms. So grams, moles, left in atoms. Now we're going to multiply straight across the numerator and the denominator, and then we're going to divide. 0.551 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, all divided by 39. What that's going to give us is 8.5 times 10 to the 21 atoms of potassium. And that's how you do that one. And the next one, what is the mass in grams of 8.0 times 10 to the 21 silver atoms? So this is just the reverse of the last question. Now you're going from particles or atoms into mass. So it's the same question, just in reverse. So we're going to start with 8.09 times 10 to the 21, and that is going to be atoms. So we want atoms on the bottom here, and we want moles on top. And this is going to be Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, get 1 mole. So now we're in moles. Now we have to go from moles to grams. So for every 1 mole of silver, we get 107.87 grams. And that's how you set up this problem. Now we need to cancel our units, and we're left in grams. And now we need to multiply across the numerator and the denominator, and that should leave us with 8.09 times 10 to the 21 times 107.87 divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, and that leaves us with 1.45 grams of silver. And that's how you do that problem. Okay, last question. What is the mass of hydrogen atoms in 1.45 times 10 to the 21 molecules of sucrose? So this one's a little trickier. So we need to clear off our conversion chart here. So this one, we're going to start with molecules of sucrose. So we're going to start in particles, and we need to get to moles. So we're going to go to moles, and now we're in moles. Now, where do we go from here? We need to get to mass, but we don't want to go in this direction. We don't want to go in that direction, because that will give us mass of sucrose. We don't want the mass of sucrose. We want the mass of hydrogen. So we're not going in that direction. We are going in this direction. So we need to do a mole to mole. We need to use a mole to mole ratio between the moles of sucrose and the moles of hydrogen. And then once we use that conversion, we will be in the moles of hydrogen. And then we can go to mass from there. And that's the pathway of solving this question. So let's look at it. 1.45 times 10 to the 21 molecules of sucrose. So you want to use Avogadro's number again, 6.022 times 10 to the 23 molecules, and that's going to give you 1 mole of sucrose. And now we have moles of sucrose. This is sucrose. Now we want to go from sucrose to hydrogen. If you look at the formula here, for every 1 mole of sucrose, you get 22 moles of hydrogen. So for every 1 mole of sucrose, you get 22 moles of hydrogen. And now we are here. Now we're here on our chart. Okay, so now we have to get to grams. So for every 1 mole of hydrogen, you get 1.01 grams. So now we are in grams of hydrogen, which is the mass. So now we have to go through and cancel our units. So our molecules cancel, our moles of sucrose cancel, our moles of hydrogen cancel, and we're left in grams of hydrogen. So now, setting this up to multiply, you're going to multiply straight across. You get 1.45 times 10 to the 21 times 22 times 1.01, and then I like to tack on the units that we want to stay in at the back, and then that's going to be all over 6.022 times 10 to the 23, and then calculating that gets us 0.054 grams of hydrogen. And that's it. That's how you solve each and every one of these questions. If you missed anything, I did erase the previous ones, but if you missed anything, email me and I will make another video with your specific question. And if you caught anything that I've possibly made a mistake, email me, let me know. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.